Oh, hey, my name is Val, and welcome to the Dairy Hour podcast, where the future of farming isn't just in our fields, it's in our voices. Pull up a chair, friend. Let's share the story of agriculture, one voice at a time. Are you tired of farm gear that just doesn't keep up with your daily grind? Let me introduce you to my favorite find, the waterproof bibs from 4D Ag Fashion. These bibs are built by farmers for farmers, designed to handle the mud, the mess, and everything in between, all while keeping you dry and comfy. They are lightweight, breathable, and so much fun, coming in so many different colors from cow print, camo, teal, pink, purple, navy, green, and maroon. Whether you're working in the parlor, the barn, or tackling chores in the rain, these bibs are a total game changer. You can grab your pair at 4dagfashion.com. That's the number 4, the letter D, agfashion.com. Trust me, once you wear them, you won't want to chore in anything else. Oh, and for the month of June, free shipping for Dairy Month. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Dairy Hour podcast. I am your host, Val Lavigne, and I am joined today by Lindsey Sherman, a fellow New Yorker. Lindsey, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. As we were just talking about, we're both in New York State, and it has not stopped raining in like forever. And my vitamin D levels are getting low, and here we are. But it's fine. It's going to turn around. It's going to be great. We're going to live. That's what I've decided to tell myself. Like, we're going to live. We're going to get through this. So, dear. So do you want to start out by just telling everyone a little bit about what you do?
Sure. Yeah. So I am a fitness and nutrition coach. I also work a 9 to 5 at an auction house. So I do my fitness and nutrition coaching business on the side of that, which the auction house is a super dangerous job for me because I love thrifting and decorating. So I've had to learn how to hold myself back there. Primarily, my passion is fitness and nutrition coaching, and I've been doing that for a few years now. I started out at my local YMCA, and now I do everything online at my own business.
That is awesome. And I had no idea that you worked at an auction house during the day. And I too would be like, oh, well, that's not that much money. And I would buy that too. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, well, where am I going to put all this stuff? Hang on. Or my husband would be like, you get that out of here. Enough. Stop it.
Yep.
Do you run into that issue frequently? You get home and you're like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to put this.
Yeah, I've gotten better. Like at first, I just wanted to buy stuff. And now I've gotten better because I see so much stuff that I've gotten more selective. I've definitely just randomly brought home a pressure washer, and my husband's like, because we sell tools, we sell antiques, like a little bit of everything. We sell plants, so I'll bring home like plants, pressure washer, and my husband's like, why'd you buy that? And I'm like, first of all, it was a good deal, and second of all, we can use it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can use a pressure washer and plants. It's fine.
Yeah.
All of the things. Yes. We go to an auction on Mother's Day weekend, and it's actually for an Amish community that we know a lot of them. And it's for it's like their healthcare fund. Like it's a big fundraiser weekend for them. And I always come home with all the plants because, yeah, they're so pretty. And I'm like, it's for a good cause. We need to buy that too. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So usually my grandmother gets her hanging baskets for Mother's Day. My mother-in-law gets hanging baskets for Mother's Day. And then I get myself lots of hanging baskets for Mother's Day.
Yeah. Last year there was a plant auction that we did at the end of the season, and my now sister-in-law was having her bridal shower, so I bought like all the end of season like little flower pots for the tables, and then I bought like a ton of plants for my house, and we have like rental houses, so I'm like, if they don't work at my house, they can go at the rental house. I came home with like 40 plants.
There you go. It's like, we'll just make it work, and then whatever else, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Just shove it in random places. Or you walk down the street and you get a plant and you get a plant. How about you? You get a plant too.
Yep.
Awesome. I love that. And that's fun. I like it. So talk to me a little bit about your, fitness coaching and what kind of things do you do as far as your coaching?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I do everything online now, which I think when we think of fitness coaching, we traditionally think like you go to the gym and somebody walks you through a workout. And that's what I started off doing. And then I really just realized that when I was going to the Y and coaching in person, that I was really just getting paid for the hour that I spent with that person.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay, if they only pay for an hour a week, we have our hour together and they're like on their own the rest of the week. And with online coaching, what I really liked was I can have a lot more contact and touch points with my clients throughout the week. So, they're getting their workouts in an app. It's super flexible and they can do them on their time. Their nutrition plan is in an app and we do everything just like this. We do Zoom calls and messaging throughout the week. And I just really love the flexibility of it, both for myself and for my clients. So I've really been enjoying it.
Awesome. And you help provide them nutrition guidance as well?
Yeah, yep. So they get custom workouts and nutrition plans. So it can really look different for every single person. So nothing I do is cookie cutter. And, I've seen fitness programs where you sign up and it's like you're thrown in a diet plan and a workout plan, and that's what you do. And honestly, none of my clients get the same plan because it's like one client might be like full on tracking calories and macros, and another client might just be trying to eat breakfast every day. So it's so custom.
Some are down to the fine tuning and some are just trying to survive day to day.
Yes. Yep.
That's my kind of people, because some days it's a pirate ship and I get that.
Yeah.
So we're there.
For
So
sure.
I want to kind of talk about you and how you ended up becoming a nutrition and fitness coach. So, did you grow up in the area? Where did you grow up? What was life for you? What was life like for you?
Yeah, so like we mentioned, I'm from New York and I've lived in New York my whole life. Upstate New York, as we mentioned, not the city. So I grew up in a very rural, small town, went to a school where everybody knew everybody. I mean, we had about 120 people in my class, so not super small, but we still knew everybody. And I didn't grow up on a farm or anything, but I got into farming and agriculture from my mom grew up on a farm, and that's how I got into it. And then when I was in school, like I was one of those like AP students, like I had to be doing everything all the time. And then I was also working on a farm during the weekends. So then, because you were asking about fitness, I kind of started getting into fitness because I was like so stressed out and I kind of just like needed an outlet. And I played sports in school, but I was never like the star in sports. Like I was on the team and I sat the bench a lot, but then I found that I just really like doing like individual fitness for like my own mental health.
That's where you went wrong. You joined track because you don't get benched there and you can be like not great, but you can still get by, because that's what I did. And when you were describing that, I was like, yeah, that's me. I never wrote the book in how to be like super fast.
No.
But I was there, I was doing it. My shins still thank me for being, a non-star hurdler in high school. So,
Yeah.
and we stopped hurdling and started barrel racing. Like, I don't know where my shins are ever going to get a break, but it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you started doing some, working out in the gym a little bit on the side just because you needed that mental health break. Okay.
Yeah, I actually worked out in my bedroom at home. I had literally like the space the size of a yoga mat, and I started doing like Blogilates, YouTube videos, and then I convinced my parents that I needed like more space. So I transitioned to working out in our basement, which we had an unfinished basement. Like there was a concrete floor, but it was like stone walls. And I put up like shower curtains like along the stone walls to make it feel like it had real walls. And I worked out down there, and like I'm tall. I'm like 5'8", and like I couldn't do like an overhead press. Like I'd be hitting the ceiling and like going between the joists of the floor. There was times when I found snakes down there on my yoga mat, but we made it work.
Yikes. Yeah, no, I'd be done working out after that. I'd be like, snake, I'm out. Like,
I was. It took me about a month to go back down there after I found the snake on my yoga mat.
yeah, that yoga mat would have been gone.
Yes.
Long gone.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the worst. Snakes are absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible things.
I made my dad take care of that one.
So you get out of high school, and then, where did you go from there?
Yeah, so I got out of high school and I really wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do when I was in high school. And, I started working on a farm when I was 14 because, like I said, my mom had grew up on a farm and she knew that taking care of animals teaches you really good work ethic
Mm-hmm.
and good lessons. I started working on a farm. She got me into showing cows. She got me into Dairy Princess, which I hated at first. My first pageant, there was not one picture of me smiling. So I was like, well, this is like kind of what I know and I enjoy it and I'll go to school for that. So I went to SUNY Cobleskill and got my bachelor's in animal science. And I still didn't really know what I wanted to do with it while I was like finishing up and while I was there. I didn't think I wanted to go back on farm. I was thinking I might go into like ag education,
Mm-hmm.
but I graduated during COVID. So all of the internship and job opportunities were very limited except for going on farm. So that's what I ended up doing was going back to the farm.
Very good.
Yeah.
Did you get any other experiences while you were at college?
I did the animal science degree. Like I came from dairy farming and I was like, well, I'll do animal science and like kind of try a little bit of everything. So like I tried like, working with sheep and goats and pigs. I actually went in the pig pen once at college and then they all went for my feet and I said, nope, I'll go back to dairy cows. So
Pigs aren't for me, thanks though.
they said pick 2 animals to do this project on. And I was like, well, we'll do cows because I know that. And let's try pigs for something different. And that was the end of that.
Ruined me from pigs for the rest of my life.
Right. So I just ended up like floating back over to dairy because that was kind of like what I did when I was in high school and, what I knew and I enjoyed.
And, what did, you said you had started working out in high school to just kind of, ease that mental stress, etc. Like, what did that look like for you in college?
Yeah. So I continued to work out through college and I would work out in my dorm room, like I would do some yoga and then I would go to the weight room, which I've always been like a pretty shy kid. So going to the weight room in college was like a little scary at first, but I did it. Because again, it was always my mental thing. Like it was there. I always felt better after a workout. There wasn't really any like, huge fitness goal I was trying to achieve. Like I always wanted to build muscle and stuff, but I just mentally always felt better. So I continued, working out throughout college, but I never like really saw it as like a career. I just always kind of grew up around agriculture and stuff. So like I was just kind of like set that like that's what I was supposed to be doing. So yeah.
So you graduate college during COVID and you ended up back on a dairy farm for your internship. And then how did things change from there?
Yeah, so I had to do an internship to complete my degree. So I did that for the summer and then I liked the farm more than I thought I would. I thought I would do the internship, get my degree, and then do something else in agriculture because I was always like, well, I don't think I want to work on a farm. But then I ended up really enjoying it. So I ended up working there for probably I want to say almost 3 years. But during that time, there were a lot of ups and downs. And I feel like maybe I should have gone with my gut in the beginning that said that maybe working full-time on farm wasn't for me, but there were a lot of aspects of it that I really loved, but I ended up burning myself out so bad. I was in an assistant herdsperson role, so a lot of responsibility fell on my shoulders at the age of 21. So I ended up burning myself out pretty bad in that role, for sure.
Yep. So what made you realize how burnt out you were and how did you go about making that change?
Yeah, it actually took me a long time. I think I realized a little over a year in. My first year was really great, and then I started to get a lot of responsibility piled onto me in that second year. And this is nothing against who I worked for, the farm I worked for. This is just, I think, the nature of working on a dairy. Especially a smaller one where you take on a lot of roles. So there were a few instances. I had some instances with another coworker who kind of wanted my position, who really was kind of awful to me on the farm. And so I went through a lot of things emotionally trying to figure out, like, is this the role for me? Am I making, my managers happy? Am I doing good for my coworkers? And I've always been a people pleaser. And, I would come home a lot of nights and just kind of like break down crying just from all the emotion and weight of it all. And there was actually a point, and again, this was during COVID, so there was a point where we were quarantined for 10 days and I couldn't go to work. And I just decided to get my online personal training certification. And I was like, if this doesn't work out for me, I want to have a backup. And like, I'm struggling mentally. And what's always like been there for me mentally is exercise and working out. And like, that was what I felt like I wasn't doing for myself in the moment, was taking care of myself. But it wasn't even until like a year after that that I actually left that job. Just got that certification, like kept it in my back pocket kind of.
But you had to build up the courage to take that next jump because it's what you knew.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, this is what I've gone to school for. You know, I always, like I said, I was like the AP student. Since my battery's running low, but you're plugged in. I was always like the AP student and like get the high school credits, get done with college early. Like I had been able to get through college without any debt really because I worked really hard. And I'm like, but if I leave this job, like, what was all of that for? You know? So it was definitely hard.
Yeah, you and I have similar mindset as far as like, you're like, oh my gosh, where's this income going to come from? What am I going to do? And that's kind of what when I left my full-time milk inspecting position, that's kind of what I ran into there, is just that fear of the unknown. Like, but I've always been comfortable here. Like, this is, what I know. How, teaching yourself that it's okay to take that next step and kind of let it be unknown is a very difficult thing to do, especially when, I too was that person. Like, I always did above and beyond. I was always the AP student with, extra, getting done quick, all of those things. So I completely feel you when you're just like, well, how am I going to handle this?
Yeah.
So one day you'd had enough and you decided you needed to do what was right for you.
Yeah. And I think like also in addition to that, like I think I carried the weight like a lot of farmers do of like, if I don't do this, like who else is going to do it? Like I need to take on the responsibility, and like if I don't milk the cows, who else is going to milk the cows? Like it was just like, I don't want to put it on somebody else. But yeah, there was just a point where I'm like, I love this industry. I love a lot of parts of this job, but I just don't think it's for me. And I just, after years of thinking about it, finally just made that decision and had to get up the courage to actually say, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And it was also a matter of like not knowing what I was going to do next, because I didn't really have anything lined up.
Yep. So that fear of the unknown.
Yeah,
so you left,
exactly.
And then what did you do when you finally did get the courage to say, hey, this isn't working out for me? How did things progress from there?
Yeah, so I had interviewed for some different jobs, and a lot of them were just kind of random because I was just, I was so burnt out, and I was like, I just need to try something different. And I really wanted to do fitness coaching, but I couldn't really find anything like full time to replace my, my income from the dairy farm. So I got a part-time job at my local Y. And I was like, this isn't full time, but it'll work for now. And then right before I was going to start that job, I got a call from the auction house where I work at now. And they're like, we'd love to take you too. So I ended up doing both at the same time.
As a busy mom and dairy farmer, I'm always looking for ways to support my family's health as well as my own, and I absolutely love Wonder Cow Colostrum. It's packed with essential nutrients, great for supporting gut health, boosts immunity, and promotes overall wellness. Whether it's for me, my kids, or anyone looking to stay strong and healthy, Wonder Cow is my go-to daily supplement. I've been taking it for a year now, and it is irreplaceable in my daily routine. If you want to experience the amazing benefits of colostrum too, you can use my special code, DairyGalVal, at checkout for a discount. Give Wonder Cow a try, and you will definitely feel the difference. Hey, Dairy Hour listeners, if you're enjoying this show, leaving a review is the best way to help us grow and reach more people. Plus, I've got a little thank you for you. Snap a screenshot of your review, message it to me at DairyGalVal, and I will be sure to send some fun Dairy Hour stickers your way. Thanks for supporting the podcast, and I cannot wait to mail you some swag. Take that one stream of revenue and make two. Perfect.
Right. And I was like, well, I always do too much anyway, so I might as well just go to 2 different jobs.
You're young, you just got to kind of figure it all out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you started working at the Y, and, I kind of want to hone in on how you ended up, creating your own business and how you got that push to, go and do that.
Yes. Again, I worked at the Y for about a year, or maybe a little over a year, and I loved working there. But there were some things that I just wished I could have done better as a trainer there, that I couldn't do within the parameters of working for the Y. Again, like you really are just kind of paid to train your client for the session that they show up for. And, I was doing a little extra and, checking in with my clients throughout the week. I wasn't really getting paid to do that. Or really told to. There wasn't really much guidance when I started working there. It was kind of like, okay, you're a personal trainer, you got the job, start training clients and figure it out from there. And I was like, I'm so type A. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I want to like do better than that. And I had a lot of really great clients there. Some clients I worked with for over a year, but I was just like, I think I want more say and more control in how I do things. And I also wanted to be able to give clients more kind of like bang for their buck, because being online, you can really do that. So that's really why I started my own business. And also just like driving back and forth to the gym on top of a full-time job, like going there like before work, after work. I'm like, what if I just go online and it'll be better for me and for my clients?
Awesome. So how does one go about setting up their own business online and doing all the things, finding clients, finding people that believe in you, to guide them through this process?
Yeah, I think it can be really intimidating at first, and it was for me, because it's like, oh, you want to start your business? Like that sounds like such a huge thing. Like, what do I have to do legally? Oh, what are all the steps? Like, I have to have a website and blah blah blah, like all the steps. I literally just sat down, and made like a very basic list of the things I needed to do to get started. And I was like, I'm just gonna work through this list and I'm not gonna think about like the second thing on the list until I do the first thing. Like, I'll just start with the basics and I'm not gonna think about like the 10 things I've listed off that I think need to be done. And again, like I was just starting out. So these were things like that I had just gotten off of Google or whatever. I was like, I'll just take it step by step and like figure it out as I go.
Awesome. So you get through your checklist and you get someone that believes in you to be your client. You finally get through all this checklist and you get your first client, signs up. What now?
Yeah. So my first client was actually one of my best friends who I worked with on the dairy farm.
You gotta love those best friends that just believe in you and they're like, yes, we got this. We'll help you. You help me, I'll help you.
I literally like launched my coaching and she messaged me and she was like, how do I sign up? Like, I believe in you. I will pay for this. And I was almost like, oh my God, like you don't need to pay me. Like, I'll just help you. I felt like it was such an amazing feeling to, have someone that believed in you. Cause I'm like, we were literally just milking cows together like 2 months ago or whatever. So it was really awesome to get to work with her as my first client because she knew where I had come from. Like she knew that I hadn't been coaching for 10 years and she just really like went with the flow and we had a really great time together and that kind of like spurred everything after that.
Awesome. Well, that's so great to have a good friend that'll jump in and do that for you and basically get the ball rolling. And, even talking about it online to kind of drum up interest. What are some other ways that you've done to kind of market yourself to show people that, you are the way to go?
Yeah, I have done kind of a mix of online and local marketing. I always starts, I think, with friends and family and word of mouth. And I think it's important to do things locally and in person as well as online. I've had clients, again, who are my best friends, and I've had clients who are complete strangers. But I do some local events. I actually do some workouts at an ice cream store.
Ooh,
In
work out
hometown.
and then have some ice cream.
Yes, and that kind of like ties into dairy too. So that gives me like my in-person kind of fix because I still love in-person coaching. So I get to do that and kind of spread the word. I do some local community events. We're actually doing like a wellness series in June where I'm partnering with another health coach at our local community center and doing like a wellness talk every Tuesday for a month. So doing some things locally. And then, of course, there's Instagram and, learning how to make reels and all that fun marketing stuff that comes with that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
No
that's a
idea how
whole
to.
other, I feel like that is like a job in itself that you have to learn, no matter what
Yeah.
business you have.
So, is there anything else that you're dying to share with us about, making that next jump into doing something, unknown, something about your fitness program? Anything else you want to share with us before we jump on to the next thing?
Yeah, so I think like don't be afraid to try something different and also listen to your gut. I think I was very much stuck in a rut for so long where it was like, well, this is like what I've worked for years, and this is what I feel like people, like other people think I should be doing. And other people told me that I was, you know, good at what I did on the farm. I think like learning to listen to yourself and if you're happy or not is really important. And you can really thrive in any career. And, I don't say anything ever negative about dairy farming. I love that industry. It just wasn't for me. So I've transitioned now pretty recently to really focusing on coaching women in agriculture because I want women who are in agriculture to be able to take care of themselves and stay in the industry, if that's what they want to do. Because that just wasn't the case for me. I didn't have someone who could help me learn how to take care of myself and balance what I was doing on the farm. So I am transitioning more into that now and creating a more specific program for women in ags, which I'm super excited about.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is so important. And I've talked about this on the podcast, many different times about how important it is for women in agriculture to take care of themselves first, because you can only pour from the empty cup, which is, one of my favorite quotes. You can only pour from an empty cup so much, and you have nothing else left to pour, or you have nothing left for yourself. You can't live your life just giving everything you have away. You need to learn to be selfish to an extent and keep some of that, energy for you and give yourself some attention. Learning how to lift things properly to minimize injury, take care of yourself so that, you're not suffering from all sorts of extra you know, health scares just because you spend so much time taking care of the farm and not yourself. Because, you're not gonna be able to take care of the cows if you're in the hospital because you're like, not doing well. So you might as well take care of yourself and decrease those chances of not doing well.
Yeah.
But
And I think like I really got like stuck in that rut. And I think a lot of farmers do of like, oh, well, I can just never take a vacation and I just work every holiday and like it just isn't in the cards for me to have time off. And that's just simply not true. Like, I've known veterinarians who go on vacation, who run marathons. My best friend, who I mentioned that I trained, she's about to run her first marathon next year, and she works full time on a dairy farm. So it's just simply not the case that you have to, be like, oh, I just don't get to take care of myself because that's my job. It is a narrative that I think a lot of us can easily fall into.
definitely. And one of my favorite hours of the day is not even on the farm. It's, I'm not an online fitness girly. I will not work out if it comes to me having to like hop on YouTube to watch a video. I need to go get like told what to do. And that's fine. Like there's things for different people. But one of my favorite hours is just going away. And it's kind of that disconnect from the farm, which every once in a while you need, even if you are dairy gal Val. Like sometimes you just need to like step away for a few minutes and take some time to yourself. And, over the past few years of me, focusing on, working out and doing things, I've learned what an important part of my mental health that is and how much it really truly has helped me. And, just getting away, being able to erase what's, all of the different background noises in your head from the farm, stepping away from it and just focusing on you for a little bit is so important. So if you're listening and you're feeling the craziness, the chaos, sometimes it's okay to step away from the chaos and not just spend all of that time trying to fix it. But it makes it easier sometimes to fix it if you step back and help yourself first, and then it makes it easier to help others.
I think it almost feels scary to do that. Like if I step back or like everything's gonna fall apart, or if I add workouts onto my plate, like I'm gonna be so overwhelmed. And it's like it's really the opposite. Like it helps.
So we're gonna transition now into some fun rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little bit better, Lindsey. So, morning person or night owl?
I would say naturally, I'm more of a night owl, but I try to make myself more of a morning person, if that makes sense.
She's trying to switch over the natural algorithm.
Yeah, like I feel better when I get things done in the morning, but if you just ask my body, like naturally, I would just rather like stay up all night and like clean my house and do the things at like 11 o'clock at night.
Come clean my house at 11 o'clock at night. That'd be perfect. Sweet or savory?
I would say probably sweet. Yeah.
Favorite mood? Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when I worked on a dairy farm, like every now and then they'd bring in like those little mini cupcakes, and that was so dangerous because you can eat like 6 of them.
I've somehow had 3 big cupcakes worth of cupcakes.
Yep.
I didn't even notice I was doing it. They're just bite-sized. It's fine.
Yep.
A favorite movie?
I am not a movie person. This like really disappoints a lot of people.
No.
Like I will sit and watch, hours of a series, but if you're like, do you want to watch a movie? I'm like, oh, I have to commit for like a whole like hour or two to watch a movie. Favorite, if I had to pick one, gosh, I'm just gonna randomly say The Princess Bride.
Whatever works for you, right? Okay, so what's your favorite series to binge watch?
Gilmore Girls, for sure.
All right. Pizza or burgers?
Burgers. Yep. I get a burger everywhere I go. And my husband's like, why don't you ever get something different? I'm like, because I know I like it.
Because why change when I like the burger?
Right.
Gosh, I love that. What's your favorite music genre to work out to?
Definitely like pop or like EDM type music.
Favorite like weekend thing to do besides working out?
I love to get outside with the dogs and my husband and go for a walk, go for a hike.
So you take your dogs and your husband for a walk?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I have to exercise both of them.
Come on, honey, let's go. Time. Get your leash. Let's go.
Yep. And
I love it. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
Right.
Be like, who is this girl and how dare she say that?
He's probably in the other room, like next door drinking coffee. Like he might be overhearing, but we won't worry about that.
It'll be fine. Tell him to drink more coffee. It'll be all right.
Right.
I'll take you on your walk later, honey. It's fine.
Yep.
Gosh. Okay, so you talked about flowers earlier. What's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower, I love tulips, and I don't have any at my house right now, and it is like my life mission. And we own a couple investment properties that we're hoping to rent, and I noticed that tulips came up at one of them, like right in the doorway. Like they made a new doorway to the house, and I'm like, do not trample over those tulips, because once they're done blooming, like I researched how to transplant tulips, you have to wait, and I'm like, don't trample on those tulips, boys, because I'm gonna take them to my house.
Because those are mine now.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yep.
They're pretty and they're mine now.
Yep.
Blooming in my house next year.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So what's your favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise.
Or even your favorite, like, oh my gosh, why am I struggling for words today? Your favorite like workout type. Like, do you like Metcon, just leg day, arm day? What's your go-to?
Definitely arm day. I loathe leg day. I will always say that, like, even as a trainer, and I tell my clients, like, there can be days that are not your favorite, but like we still have to do leg day. But arm day is my favorite. And I think I tell my clients this, I think I love arm day most because like there's no risk of me falling down. Like if I can't do a squat, if it gets that hard, like I feel like I could just fall down, my legs could give out from under me. Arm day, it's like I'll just set down the weight.
I get pretty dangerous on arm day too, because sometimes they lift things up. I'm like, oh, I could totally do this. And I lift them up and I was like, oh no, my head is in jeopardy.
Yep, anything shoulders. Shoulders is my favorite, like an overhead press. I would say that's like my favorite. And I think because my shoulders personally tend to like pop more after a workout, it's like that instant gratification.
She says, let's bring on the shoulder work.
Yep.
See, and I'm one of those crazy people. I love like a Metcon or a body weight conditioning, like just the crazy. I like a lot of cardio everyone, which I do. I put my work in on my weights, but I love one of those cardio days where you're literally just trying to be done with it and you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking dying. And then when I get done, I'm like, man, that was amazing. Let's do it again.
You're one of those people.
Apparently I'm one of those people. I think it's just like the torture part of it. I don't know. I love it. And that's, yes, like I dread doing it, dread going, and I'm just like, I got this. And then I die the whole time I'm doing it. And then I'm just like, yes, I feel so good. Let's go.
I think that's how I feel with my spin bike. Like I love like a good slow lift, like get in your head, like lift the heavy weights. But I've been trying to add in some more cardio, so I've started spinning. And I dread that at the beginning, but I always feel like amazing and like so sweaty and so amazing at the end. So I think I can relate.
I think that's what does it though, because I'm just like, man, that was satisfying. Like I moved my whole body. I did the things. I did things that I didn't know I could do. Like, let's go. So,
yeah. It was hard, but I did it.
Yes. It's when you take those tomato face pictures when you're done and you're just like, wow, look how red my face is, like an hour after. And I'm like, okay, who needs makeup when you can have tomato face?
Yeah, it was so funny too, because like before I ever worked with a coach of my own, like I highly believe like you need to have a mentor and you need to learn. So like I said, when I started fitness coaching, there wasn't a lot of direction. And I was always like, oh, I'm a person that doesn't really sweat. And then I worked with a coach of my own and like I started going to workout classes. I was like, this is what I was supposed to be doing. Like, and sweating doesn't mean you had a good workout, but I was like, this feels different.
Yeah, because I can sweat arm day, leg day, all the days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Do you travel at all?
I'm actually not a big traveler. I've never left the country, to be honest.
Wow.
It's something I would like to do, definitely a few times at least in my life, but I just really like home and I've never like had like that big desire to travel, which sounds kind of lame, but there is so much beauty like in New York State and even around us. But yeah, I've never left the country, which I need to change that at some point though.
Okay, favorite travel destination in New York State? You're going on a weekend trip. Where are you going?
In New York State, see, I love camping. Again, like I'm pretty basic. Like I love the state parks. We're actually going to State Park today for a little walk and a picnic. So like any of our local like state parks, like we have Watkins Glen, we have Letchworth, just beautiful waterfalls and hikes. I just love that.
There you go. Okay. Well, I'm going to spin the table on you now. Someone hands you a bunch of money and says, hey, you can go on a big international trip. Where are you going?
I think I'd like to go to maybe Ireland or Italy. I was actually supposed to go to Italy when I was at Cobleskill for an ag business trip, but then COVID happened.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah. So I still feel like I should fulfill that because I started it, but it never happened.
I think you should too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'd love to ask a question that was left. It's a more deeper thought question that was left by a previous guest. And yours is, what is the biggest challenge you have overcome and how has it helped you grow?
Biggest challenge that I've overcome. I think it was really making that decision to change my career path because again, like it was just I was always that person that was like, you do this and you get good grades and you go to college and you get a degree and you go into that career and that's what you do. And it was really like life-changing for me to make that decision that like, yes, I can love this, but I can also acknowledge that I think there's something that's calling me even more and having the confidence to say like, this will work out for me, even though I don't really know what that path looks like exactly right now, was very big for character building and, development in my eyes, just taking that leap and just going for it. I love what I do now. I love coaching other women, and it's really paid off. So that's what I would say.
I love that. And what quote do you have for us today?
Yeah, so my quote kind of goes along those same lines, actually. So it's, don't be afraid to become someone new. You owe no one an explanation as to why you've chosen to see yourself in a different light at whatever point your life that might be. Who do you want to be right now? Be that. Feel very free to reinvent yourself. And I think that goes with even the simplest things. Like if you want to start dressing differently or listening to different music or try to run a race and you've never run a race before, I think we can get so stuck in well, that's not me. I'm not a person who does that. But to be a person that does that, you just have to do it. You just have to try it. Now you're a person that does that.
I like it. It holds true. And I love when the quotes really, complement the conversation that we have, because it makes me know that I've done my job and guided the conversation where it should have gone. So that makes my life a lot easier. But I just love that. And I love the fact that, you're out there helping people understand, hey, it's okay to change. It's okay to, let go of things that aren't serving you anymore and find something that maybe is.
Mm-hmm.
And, like we said earlier, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And I think that that's something that's so important for everyone, not even just women in agriculture, but everyone in general, because we live in such a fast-paced society and everything is so instant gratification. People are depending on you for this, this, and this. And sometimes I think it's okay to take that step back and be like, well, does this actually serve me? Is this where I should be? Does this actually make me happy? So I think that that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree with that.
Awesome. And Lindsey, share with us where, if people want to follow along with your journey, if people want to check you out for some fitness and nutrition coaching, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I am on all the platforms. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, most active on Instagram. Not sure if you can hear my dogs. They get chaotic. Good. Most active on Instagram at Lindsey Sherman _fitness. And then I have my website, lindseyshermanfit.com. I also have a podcast called the Balanced Hustle Podcast. So yeah, you can find me in all those places.
Awesome. And I will be sure to link those in the show notes. So if you guys are looking for her, feel free to hop on over there and find them a lot easier instead of trying to get all the spellings right and remember exactly what she said and all the things. So yeah, Lindsey, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a blast chatting with you, and thank you all for listening. I appreciate it so much. Please share this episode with a friend, leave me a review here at the Dairy Hour podcast, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes every single Wednesday. So, Lindsey, thanks again for coming on, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.